Hi everyone. So happy to be here sharing healing through divorce today. That's the topic. And I'm just gonna invite some people to join us. Thank you so much, Nikki, for joining us. Share with all your friends, everybody. We're gonna talk about healing through divorce today. And some things happened to me recently in my life with different married people, divorced people, people going through breakups, people going through losses. Our own breakup with ourselves is happening massively right now on the planet. You know, there's so many changes going on with the environment. I live in Key Biscayne and nobody is at the beach every morning when I go because we're not allowed to go in the water. But for me, I mean, we're allowed to go on the sand and we're allowed to enjoy the sunrise. So even if I can't go in the water, and I put my feet in the water, you know, I'm not gonna let fear take over. And I go to the beach, and I think I appreciate more the beach now too, more than ever. I mean, it's right across the street from where I live. I'm just inviting people to and I really feel that everything that's happening in the ocean and the pollution and the algae, you know, the government, just relationships. I think I'm not sure if it's 50 or 60% of all marriages end in divorce. But what I wanted today to shine light on how we can heal through divorce instead of us getting upset at our partners and angry at our exes or our spouses, for us to come from a healing perspective. So that's my goal for today, because did you know that we attract what we are? It's so true. In relationships, the only way somebody can come into your field of existence is if you're vibrating at that frequency. So that's right. If you say, oh my God, but I can't stand my ex, or I can't stand my wife or my husband, the thing is that that person is just shining a mirror reflection of the parts of you that you can't stand. And people don't understand this, and then we go and we get upset at that person. I'm talking about myself here because I was with somebody for 20 years of my life, and basically my whole existence was about pointing the finger at that person. And I can say that today without having an emotional meltdown, but basically I had a lot of shame and guilt about my own relationship with myself and all the judgment that I made about myself. And what I learned was I attracted people that judge, people that criticize, people that are abusive, because I was abusive to myself. And that's the only way that I could have attracted a person that was emotionally abusive to me. So rather than me play the victim role and, oh, I can't believe this is the person that I'm with, what if we could just stop gossiping about our partners, stop gossiping about our past boyfriends, girlfriends, relationships, and we could just totally immerse ourselves in our own self-development, our own self-growth, and really make the divorce, the separation, the loss about yourself, so that your soul can have a chance to be reconnected to you. Because when we point the finger and we are not in connection with people, we're actually not in connection with ourselves, because we're not even separate. We're not even separate from each other. So if you're hating on someone, or if you're angry at someone, or if you're playing that victim role, let's just pause for a moment and let's take a deep breath in and put our hands on our hearts and reconnect, so we can look at all the dramas and all the traumas and all the chaos as an opportunity to turn all of that into fertilizer to grow. Because that's what happens in nature. We're breathing in oxygen, and the shit turns into fertilizer for us to grow. And I like to think of shit as strengthen, heal, imagine something new, and thrive. And that's what I teach in the Alva Method process, is how can I look at the challenges with my partner as an opportunity for me to get more, inviting more compassion in, inviting more forgiveness in, inviting more growth, rather than just, you're bad, I don't like you, I can't stand you, get away. So when we get the divorce and that person moves out, we no longer have that mirror reflection of us living with us that's reminding us constantly of what we can't stand about ourselves. So when we say we got a divorce, I think it would be more in the alignment with quantum physics to say, I got a divorce with the version of myself that I was being in that relationship with that person, because that's really what we're divorcing. When I no longer was with my ex-husband, I wasn't able to see the mirror reflection of those parts of myself that I didn't like because he moved out. So I no longer had that reminder of those wounded parts of myself constantly, because there was so much pain inside of me that I couldn't stand to be with myself. And my ex-husband amplified my own woundedness that I couldn't stand being with myself with. So then move out, don't be around me. But what happens is we're just going to attract the same exact person in a different body. And that's just the way it goes unless we do the deeper healing work. So what I would love to share with you all, and you can comment, what do you think about everything I'm saying? People are listening. If anybody wants to share, if anybody has questions, because I don't know how many people actually know that your relationships are happening for you. That disastrous, chaotic relationship that you think that you're having is actually medicine for you if you choose to see it that way. So first and foremost, I was talking about getting in touch with our hearts, and I veered a little bit, but you're welcome to ask me questions also on this Facebook Live. If you yourself want to know you're going through a challenge, a divorce, a breakup, a separation, maybe you're thinking about doing something to change the status of your relationship, just remember that what's really happening is the status with your inner relationship. Your relationship with others is just a reflection of your inner relationship with yourself. So when we realize that, then we can say, wow, how's my inner relationship with myself that I'm attracting this disastrous partner? Unfortunately, there's a lot of interpretations that we make about our partners that are not uplifting. And the only way that can happen is if we aren't aware that there's aspects of that person that we're not accepting, because there's aspects of us that they're showing us that we're not accepting of ourselves. So for example, if you are irritated because somebody's constantly late, if your partner's constantly late, they're not ready, you constantly have to be after them, there might be a part of you that you're not accepting fully, that they're triggering in you, that maybe it's carelessness, being late, yourself, maybe you're hard on yourself if you're ever late. So those are the things that we can, is it possible that you turn your partner into a disaster? Can you elaborate on that question, Stephanie? You turn your partner, what do you mean? You tell them that they're a disaster, or they become chaotic because you're in the relationship with them? What I have learned is to just take full responsibility for my actions and behaviors, and not to feel that I'm the cause of somebody's behaviors, because that's called codependency. When we say that you're causing their behaviors, you're actually not allowing them to take responsibility for their own actions. So you don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel that it's on you, that you're causing someone. Even though, for me, I did cause hurt feelings to be interpreted by a partner that I was with, and then he definitely didn't have good coping skills with what happened. But I'm not responsible for him not being able to heal himself and seek the support that he really needed. My vibration has not technically attracted him, but his change in behavior. I feel love. There's a lot of love there in that relationship, I know for sure, that causes us to grow. And when there's love there, things can shift so fast. But you don't have to hold yourself that it's your fault for whatever's going on with him. Because we have free will, right? We have free will. I hope that helped out. And you can ask me again another question, Stephanie, if I wasn't understanding it correctly. But what we're going to do right now, what you can do is start to be more conscious that you're attracting more than what you maybe want to believe. And that it's an opportunity for you to deepen your own clarity, connection, intimacy, and to come into a deeper space of love and compassion. So that relationship that's the most challenging is actually there to give you the most rapid growth. And yet so many of us just give up and you know, and it's okay, because a lot of us don't have this awareness that, oh my God, this is actually an opportunity for me. But the thing is, your partner might not look at it as an opportunity, and they just might want to bail. And that's what most people do, and hence 50 to 60% of all marriages end in divorce. But I wish we did a survey of how many people find the next partner completely happy and perfect. Because the thing is, when you meet somebody new, all you see is their best parts. So you have to wait 18 months to 2 years, technically, to see all their shit come up. All that you had with your wife or your husband. That's just the way it goes. It takes 18 months to 2 years to actually see the whole person when you meet somebody new. So some of us never even get to that. So we're just dating, we meet somebody, we know them for 3 months, 6 months, then we break up, and then we don't even catch that we are still holding suffering things because we're just not with people that long. It's a world where everything is just, I want immediate results, I want immediate gratification. So I highly recommend all of us right now, just put your hand over your heart and feel yourself, because this is the first place where healing happens, is when you hold space for all of who you are. Healing means to become whole. And divorce, a lot of times, we're not able to be with the whole person that we are. That's why we have to get out of that relationship, because we can't stand ourselves. And I'm just gonna tell you, what's really going on. You know, I'm not gonna candy coat it. So what I did was I pointed the finger at my ex-husband, who's an amazing guy. He's the father of my daughter. He's awesome. And I couldn't see how awesome he was because I was so wounded. I was so judgmental about myself that any beautiful thing he might have done, I just didn't have that ability to see it in myself, so I couldn't see it in him. So no matter how hard he tried to make things better, I wasn't even aware that I was so hard on myself, so judgmental on myself. I had massive blind spots. And this is what the deeper healing work today that I do, because now I've embraced and healed and forgiven myself for all the shame and all the holding on and all the bitterness that I was. And I thought I was spiritual. I did more yoga, more meditation so that I could convince myself that I was a good person. But inside, I hated myself. Inside, there was so much shame from things that happened to me in the past that I judged myself, that I myself couldn't really stand myself. And that's why I would be going out all the time, teaching a gazillion workshops, giving myself for free, doing free. This is like 9 years ago, I was like this. And just anybody that wanted me to volunteer, there I was. Because I was more of, I didn't technically have to work so much. You know, my daughter was younger. And so I didn't value myself the way I do today. Hence, I couldn't value my partner, couldn't value anybody. But turning that shit into fertilizer is what taught me, because of that way that I was relating with myself, my reflections in my relationships were showing me that self-worth, self-value, appreciation was not in my frequency, you see? So today, if I could have just assessed, okay, in this marriage, we're yelling at each other. In this marriage, we're lying to each other. In this marriage, we are not appreciating each other. We can then say, then I'm obviously not appreciating myself. I'm not valuing myself, and I'm not respecting myself. And then we can do the inner work, and this is what the Alva Method process takes you on. So we're gonna start right now with connecting deeper to ourselves and creating the intimacy inside, so that then automatically we're able to create intimacy with our partner. And trust me, folks, miracles can happen in your marriages when we open up rapidly to love and compassion with ourselves, because you're gonna see your current spouse or your ex-husband or ex-wife through different eyes. And who knows, maybe that'll rekindle the marriage, maybe that'll reconnect the couples, maybe not, you know. But stay open, because whatever you're not accepting, is really from a hurt place inside yourself that you're not accepting. So the technique, really rapid release, I'm gonna give it to you right now. So let's all close our eyes. We're gonna get in touch with our heart. So you're gonna massage your heart. Just take a moment to put your hand over your chest, and you can close your eyes and take a deep breath in, and you're gonna feel your heart, feel your breath. It's all about you right now. Close your eyes. Your hand is on your chest, and you're noticing, how does my heart feel? And if it's hard for you to feel your heart, you can bring your left arm over your head like this to stretch. So this is what you're gonna do, Allie, and you can always hear the recording after. I'll send you the link. Just do this, closing your eyes, and you can lay down on your bed if you want to do this too. You're going to place your hand over your heart, and you're going to start to be with your heart. We're going to practice being intimate right now with ourselves. So the minute we do this, we open up to deeper intimacy with our partner and with everyone. Deeper intimate relationships forming right now. Take a deep breath in and expanding the fascia, the muscles, the tissues around your heart wall, your heart muscle. The more we hate and we're angry and we're resentful, your heart tenses up like this. And you can't feel it as much. You're not as intuitive when you're angry and resentful and you're holding all this tension, because your heart actually is your biggest intuitive source. The more open your heart. So that's why we do this with the left arm. And we're gonna inhale, inhale, inhale. Expand, expand, expand. The chest, hold it, hold it, hold it. This is for rapid connection to your intuition, rapid release of emotions in your heart. And then you're gonna exhale. So we're gonna do this again. Inflate, inflate, inflate. Expand, expand, expand by sniffing 3 times. And then you're gonna exhale. Let it go. And keep doing this, but we're gonna do 5 or 6 sniffs now. So you're gonna go. And it's not about lifting your chest up, your shoulders up. It's about expanding your belly. So it goes like this, if you can see my belly. We're gonna inhale, inhale, inhale. Expanding, diaphragmatic breathing, and then exhale. So I'm assuming everybody knows how to breathe with their diaphragm, but if you don't, just schedule a free 30-minute clarity call with me, and we're gonna nip that in the bud, because you have to know how to breathe with your diaphragm through its full range of motion to do the rapid healing. You see, most of us don't even know how to breathe and expand into our genitals, into our low back, into our bellies. So we're doing this upper chest breathing. When I teach you this exercise, you might be doing it upper chest and you might start to feel lightheaded. So I just want to say that because I don't know how everybody's breathing right now, but I do this all the time, and I hope you saw my belly expanding. Because you got to get this right. And then if you want to orgasm more, we got to know how to expand down into our genitals. Most of us are living from this stiffened, protecting, believe me, I know it really well because that's how I used to live, okay? So this is us. A lot of times we're like, hi, how are you? I want to date. I just had a divorce and I want to date. And your heart is like this, okay? And you're walking around with all this woundedness and resentment, and it was all his fault. You know, we got the settlement, and you go out and you go dating, and then you meet an abusive man. That's just because you did not do your inner healing work and release work. And then after 18 months, where you really get to see that person because you're no longer in the charming lust phase, you're like, fuck, I'm meeting the same exact person just like my ex-husband. So trust me, I work with people every day where everything was beautiful and then the real stuff comes out. Why? Because in their body, they're still holding that anger and that fear and that resentment and playing the victim role. And so the alpha method, what I teach people is, let's do this. Let's just take all that tightness off. And when that releases, sadness, frustration, shame, guilt, inside that big knot was the frequency of all these different emotions that made your heart so hardened. And this is what the Alva method does. It's an embodied release where we're also changing our programming about, well, what would it feel like to have a drama-free, trauma-free relationship with myself? Because the relationship you're having with someone else is just a reflection of the relationship you're having with yourself. So I ask you all to practice the E3 breath. Just to review the steps, lay down. And mind you, you can schedule a 30-minute free clarity call with me. If you have any questions, I'm here for you, okay? Just get in touch with me after. Left arm up, opening the heart, massaging the heart. This is what we did today. And then you're gonna take 3 sniffs, but you're gonna do it with your belly expanding. So watch me here. It's diaphragmatic breathing, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, because your fascia is gonna reset. You're lengthening where all those trapped emotions are, and then you let it go. You do this a few times. There's 3 different phases to this process of self-discovery that I'd love to share with you if you want to learn more. And basically it's a cleansing of all that baggage. That it's amazing how the person that you attracted, that you married, most likely treats you exactly the way your parents treat you. So we literally feel at home when we say, oh my God, I met this guy and I feel like I've known him my whole life. It's because he's just like your father, okay? And then we make up these fantasy stories. We're like, oh my God, he's my twin flame. But the reason why you feel like you know him for so many years is because he's your freaking father. That's your mom right there. And this is, I mean, I can't candy coat this anymore, because that's why you feel like you know each other instantly. But then what happens is after 18 months to 2 years, you start to see all of this person, because they're no longer just trying to impress you, okay? And that's when, if you love all of who you are, you're gonna be okay with their flaws. Because folks, I got flaws, you got flaws, we all got stuff we're working on, okay? And if you love that person exactly as they are, even though they have some shortcomings and challenges like everyone does, that means that you're in love with that person. That's called love. This is what I learned finally. I'm so happy that when you are with someone, and it's okay if sometimes they're late, and it's okay if sometimes they don't keep their, I don't know, they're like, they said they were gonna do something, but then they forgot, but genuinely they feel bad. When you're okay with everything that that person's flaws are, you're in love. You're really in love. You're so in love because you're in love with yourself. You were able to create that relationship because you love all of who you are. Not because that person's so great and you love all of who they are. Because you would never allow that to happen. That relationship could never exist if you weren't loving up on all of who you are. Which I know for me, and I can say this, I'm single right now. And I know that the next person that I decide to be in an exclusive relationship with, I will love all of who that person is, because I have finally learned how to love all my shit, how to turn all my shit into fertilizer. I can say it honestly that I am allowed to make mistakes in my life, and I'm kind to myself, and I don't have to get it perfectly. And I have amazing coaches, Michelle, Rosa, Gladys Diaz. Those are my Ready to Love Again coaches. I have Vinny Belito and Nathan Benamos. Those are my business coaches. And both of these sets of amazing people in my life are coaching me in those different relationships with my business and in my personal life. And what I have discovered personally is that I used to be really hard on myself, and I was very critical of myself, and I expect so much from myself that I've taken away so much joy from just being myself. And I can be on a journey. I don't have to get it perfectly the first time. That's why I have coaches. So this is something I myself noticed, that I was really hard on my ex-husband. I was really hard on my ex-boyfriend, who is amazing, amazing, both of them, amazing, amazing men. And I couldn't really enjoy the awesomeness that they were because I couldn't enjoy my own awesomeness. So I really hope that my opening up and being vulnerable with all of you, I pray that you see that we're so divinely imperfect, but perfect at the same time. That if we could just choose to be grateful for all the drama and the trauma and the suffering, and realize that the universe is offering us this chaos so that we can grow and so that we can live a richer, more whole life. And the Alba method of self-empowered healing is a rapid way to get quick results. People say that one session with me is like going on an ayahuasca journey, and I know a lot of people are doing ayahuasca now, but the thing is, you're not learning how to empower yourself to heal in your body yourself when you're off that trip. But in this trip, with the Alba method, you're gonna leave with tools that empower you. And hey, combine them both together, you know, do them both in the same week. But if you wanna learn more how to be your own ayahuasca for yourself, how to be your own shaman, how to be awakening your own inner kick-ass healer in yourself. We were made by God. We were made by this divine creator. So of course you can heal your cancer. Of course you can heal your low back chronic pain for 20 years. Of course you can release the baggage of the past. You are awesome. And that's what this approach reminds you, and how to turn yourself on. And the fact that I'm also combining this sexual tantra massages and awakenings in the body, a lot of us have no idea how powerful we are because we don't know how to turn ourselves on. We have to rely on pornography, or we rely on our partner to turn ourselves on. But what I've discovered is that men love when a woman is turned on by herself, and a woman is just turned on ecstatically, orgasmically, and knows her body anatomy and knows herself and loves herself completely. That's the sexiest thing. It just drives men nuts. And that's what I teach women and men, how to connect to all of who you are and love all of who you are. And I assure you, putting Tantra into your marriage will keep that marriage alive, because the more you bond and connect through Tantra and these exercises in the Alba method, the more you're deepening the connection with yourself. And then you're able to share that deeper version connected of yourself with your partner. And then it makes everything so much fun and exciting and new and curious, and as though you just met for the first time. So as we process and release the past in our body, we open up to a more ecstatic, orgasmic, expansive version of ourselves. And I am just super excited. I love my job. So if anybody wants to learn more, reach out to me. Share this video with a friend. If you know somebody going through a challenging time, let's invite more compassion for them, because divorce for me was the most challenging event of my life. At the same time, it was the most liberating, connecting, spiritual awakening that I could have ever had, because I had to be with myself. I could no longer blame it on my ex-husband. I had to sit with my shit, and I had nobody else to blame it on. Thank God, because it totally revamped how I see my life. And today, I can share this amazing beingness, this vibration, this openness of love and compassion that I am, that we all are. We are all that. All of us are luminous light beings when we give ourselves permission to really embody and embrace all of who we are. So if you're holding on to shame, if you're holding on to guilt, if you're hard on yourself, if you're not letting go of the past, reach out to me, because I would love to share with you this. And I'm going to be at the Standard on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. and I'm teaching a workshop called Release and Surrender. And I would love to guide you on this amazing journey that we're going to take for 90 minutes. Bring your bathing suit, because we're going to go in the steam and the sauna afterwards. And there's a beautiful fire pit. We get to wear our white robes and be all cuddly and snuggly, and I love it. And I love teaching there at the Standard. I love it because we all get to have more fun after the workshop, and we get to connect together. I get to talk to my students, the participants that come, and it's such a beautiful way for us all. Once we're opened up after the workshop, there's just like this magical effervescent champagne glass, which without the champagne, that some people meet and they connect, and I just love that. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Share this video with your friends, post it on groups, and let's get everybody to heal and strengthen our relationship with ourselves so that we can create those long-lasting, divinely connected relationships with others. Mwah! Love you all. Let me know how the video benefited you. Bye.